So this is artificial lash application. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the point of arriving at work. And so the first thing that we wanna do when we arrive at work is we wash our hands. So we're gonna wet our hands underneath the sink. We're gonna wash them, finding liquid hand soap. We're gonna wash our hands down to our palms. We're gonna wash the back of our hands down to our wrists. We're gonna wash our fingers. We're gonna wash the backs of our fingers. We're gonna wash our fingertips and our nails, our thumbs, between our fingers and our thumbs. We are going to wash our wrists, and we're going to do all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then we're going to identify disposable paper towels or a clean towel and turn the water off. With that, you can throw away the disposable paper towels. Once you have done that, you will find your hand sanitizer, and you are going to sanitize your hands before you get to your workstation. So now you're going to go prepare your workstation before your client even arrives. And what you're going to do is disinfect your workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe, following the manufacturer's instructions. You will dispense products needed for the service. You'll prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup or tray. Or you can remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. Close the lid to the product and set the portion cup or tray on the tray. You'll place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed. So we have already set up our tray, and I'm going to show you that before our client arrives. So she's coming in for a false lash application. So what we have is we have some cotton rounds, we have some makeup remover, lash glue, and a set of false lashes, disposable mascara wand, tweezers and scissors, and disposable applicators to put the glue on the lash with, single use. So that tray is set up, and then we are going to go greet our client who's arriving. And remember, we're going to wash our hands again in a minute, but when you go and meet your client, you are going to have clean hands already. So before you even go and greet him or her, they're clean. So we put our table paper on the bed, but nothing else has happened because she's not here yet. So the bed's ready and disinfected, but we have to go find out if our client can even have the service. So we're going to welcome our client and escort them to the work area. We'll assess the client's current style. We're going to determine the client's preferences. We're going to assess the client's needs. We're going to assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, an infection or infestation, i.e. lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We'll assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We will consult on any known allergies. We will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months, and if the client is under a physician's care. We'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of those contraindications, you will be free to move forward with the procedure. So we are going to escort the client and get the client ready before we wash our hands. So let's do that. So we're gonna, this client doesn't need to disrobe, so we need to make sure that we get the client's hair pulled back with a hairnet or a headband out of the way of the face. We are gonna lay them down on that table paper with a blankie, and then we're gonna put a drape over their clothing. So they're all ready to go. And before we are ready to go, we need to wash our hands. So once again, we are going to wet our hands at the sink. We are going to find liquid hand soap. We're going to wash our palms together down to the wrist. We're going to wash the back of our hands down to the wrist. We're gonna wash our fingers. We're gonna wash the backs of our fingers. We're gonna wash our fingertips down to our nails. We are gonna wash our thumbs between our fingers and our thumbs. We're gonna thoroughly wash our wrists. We will rinse our hands off completely, and then we're gonna find either a clean towel or disposable paper towels to turn the water off with, and then thoroughly dry your hands off. You're gonna throw away your used paper towels, and then you're gonna hand sanitize. Once you're sanitized, you're gonna apply disposable gloves for this service. So make sure that you're good and dry so you can get your gloves on. That can be challenging if you have disposable gloves on. So we've got a set of disposable gloves that we are now applying. Okay, so your client's ready and you're ready to take care of your client. So the first thing that you want to do is remove any eye makeup that she might have on. So we're going to get our cotton rounds and our makeup remover, and we're going to do that first. First thing we're going to do within the service. And if you need to do this a couple times, feel free. Our client is very glamorous, which is why she is getting false lashes. So she does like to wear makeup, so we're going to make sure we take care of that first. And these are single-use items, so you're discarding them, obviously, in the trash can. And because this is my mannequin as well, I'm going to make sure she's nice and dry, which I would do that for the client too. You want to make sure they're dried off, the eye's dried off, because you're going to be using lash adhesive and you want it to actually stick. You don't want it to mix with water. And before we go in with any kind of glue to glue it on, we need to measure the size of the lashes based on the size of your client's eye. Believe it or not, there are two actual right and a left in your lash set. So what you want to do is find the side that has the smallest side, and that's going to be what you place on the inside of the eye towards the nose. So the small part in and the bigger part out. The larger, longer lashes will go on the outside. So we are going to measure first all along the lash line to see if this is too long. And so you're just holding it up to that lash line to see. This is actually a very good length match, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to pretend like if it was too long, what I do is I hold the excess in my fingers, and then I would take my scissors and I would cut the excess off above my fingers. And then I'm going to take it back and apply the glue. So I've trimmed it, and now I'm just going to flip it over so you see the back of the lash, and now I'm going to apply lash glue from corner to corner with a disposable applicator. I'm going to toss it. So, now I'm holding my lashes with tweezers in the center, and I'm going to be applying it to my client from corner to corner as close to the lash as I can get it. And I'm pressing the inside first, and then I'm going to press the outside. So I'm taking a minute to let it stick. Maybe 4 to 5 seconds here before you know. That way, while the glue is still creamy, you can kind of move it and get it closer if you need to. And then if you see any glue above or below, you've got a little second to just wipe it up before it dries. But you know that you have it in the position that you wanted it to be in. And that side looks really, really nice. So we're going to repeat process for side number 2. So we have to measure before we apply any glue. So we're going to take our strip that we know is appropriate for the left eye. The short side goes in towards the nose. And placing it down. Making sure that it matches, which it does, but once again, for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you what I would do if it was a little extra. Once again, I would hold that with the tips of my fingers, and I'm right-handed, so I need to use scissors with my right hand, so I'm going to do that. And then I would take my little scissors and trim the excess, remember, on the top of the fingers versus the bottom. I'm going to flip it and then apply glue to the back of the lash strip. And then just drag it along the lash line, corner to corner. And then I'll grab my tweezers to apply it to my client. I flip the lashes over and I apply. And I'm pressing on that inner corner first. Teensy bit of glue that I want to wipe off, not much, just a little tiny bit right here. And then I want to make sure that I give it that good 4 to 5 second window, at least, to let it dry for the client. And when I feel really good about it and I feel like it's applied appropriately, she looks awesome, I am going to give her the mirror and I'm going to show her how great her lashes look, and she is going to be absolutely wowed and ready for her night on the town. And so what you want to do at this point is you can remove your disposable gloves before you check her out, because you've got to go over a few things. So we're going to take our gloves off before we go over what she needs to know about these lashes. And so these are your disposable gloves. You're going to toss them. And she's just hanging out, letting that glue set in anyway, which is perfect. And so we're going to discuss maintenance and aftercare for her. She will go ahead and take off her headband, her drape, and meet with you to discuss. These are artificial lashes, so it's not going to be a big deal. Single use, they come off. You can teach her how to put them on again if you want to. Then you're checking her out, getting her on her way. You'll go back to your room and discard any single-use items you haven't already done, like your rounds or your mascara wand, etc. You'll place your implements in a closed container that's labeled to be disinfected. You'll place like the cape and drape, headband, etc. into a closed container until laundered, and then you've got to clean your work area because your next client's coming in. So you identify proper cleaning agents and you read the manufacturer's directions. You follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. You wipe down your work area with cleaning solution to remove debris. Then you're going to put your gloves on, new pair of disposables, because you're going to identify disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting. You will follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. We will disinfect electrical equipment and store it in a clean area separate from other implements. Then you can remove those gloves, toss it in the trash, and it's time to wash our hands again. Go to the sink, wet your hands, identify that liquid hand soap, a coin's worth. You're going to rub your palms together down to your wrist. You're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers, and you're going to wash the back of your fingers. You're going to wash your fingertips and nails. You're going to wash between your fingers. You're going to wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrists. You're going to interlock and do all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Once you've got a proper wash, you can thoroughly rinse, and then you need to find a clean towel or a disposable paper towel. Grab that, turn the water off, completely dry your hands off, and then you can toss that into the trash. Identify your 70% ethyl alcohol hand sanitizer and go ahead and sanitize up those hands. Once you're all dry, you are ready to go for your next client. And that concludes your video on false lash application.